All right, welcome to the weekend video. This is Enda here. I start this video the exact same way every single week. If you haven't already checked it out, check out bullwaves.org. And if you like nightly Elliott wave analysis, join, and you will have nightly Elliott wave analysis. It's amazing how technology works. Okay, I'm going to blast through the markets today, so hopefully we'll keep it, in around the 20-minute mark, 15 minutes maybe. So it'll be a bite-sized weekend update. Okay, here is Eurodollar. This is the count that I am now working with. You can see ending diagonal down in wave 5 in green. This three-wave, subdivision of each internal wave. Typical ending diagonal, slowing momentum the whole way down. We have a nice spike reversal here. We're working on three waves to a higher low. Now, things is getting tight here. So certain aspects of this count are going to come under pressure pretty soon. So let's get into hourly count. And I'll show you what I mean by that. Okay, so the price is moving lower, a little bit sharper today as we were looking for last night's update. We have wave 1 up. I think it's a pretty reasonable 5-wave pattern. The barrier triangle here for wave 4 is a little bit tight, but that's about the only complaint I have with this count. But we've got wave 1 and 2. Wave 3 is not the shortest wave, so that's pretty good. Wave 4 breaks out into an A, B, C, D, and E barrier triangle, and a spike higher in wave 5. And it seems we've got 5 waves down in A, 3 waves up in B, and we're working on 5 waves down in wave C. The price, the target band for wave C here is quite tight. So we've got a 5-wave pattern, expecting a 5-wave pattern. We should get a break in 96.31 at the wave A low, or it's 96.30. It's quite it's close to that anyway. Where are you? There you are. Yeah, 96.30. 5 waves down should complete in wave C, but we must hold above 95.35. So we've got 100 pips there that need to hold. I'm hoping now that we see an end to this wave C decline, possibly by the end of today, and maybe on Monday then a reversal higher. We'll know more by the end of today, obviously, but so far we're moving down into a wave 3 of C. So let's see if we can complete 5 waves today and move higher on Monday. That's the idea. Okay, here's the 4-hour count in cable. So I'm working on 3 waves up in wave A here. So that pattern is not complete yet. There is obviously this internal correction here in wave B can unfold in many different patterns, and that's kind of what I'm trying to decipher at the moment. The fact that we're getting a tighter range in the action may point us towards triangle for wave B, but we'll see how that goes in the next couple of days. I think overall we are moving higher in 3 waves in A, and I'll get into the hourly count here and I'll show you what I'm thinking about. We are moving lower again today. I had a hunch that we might have been complete in wave 2 at that internal low here of 111.69, so that obviously got broken today. You can see I am expecting a 3rd wave rally to come along over the next couple of days, but it really does depend on how this correction kind of plays out. Like I said, on the 4-hour count there, you can see a tightening of the range, so maybe we have a triangle developing here in an alternate B wave. If that's the case, wave B is going to take a few more days to unravel. The main alternate count that I'm running here is just a larger flat correction here in wave B. If we break 109.20 again, that probably should do it for wave B, but it'll be close to a low for wave B. That'll be flat correction complete, and we can work higher in wave C next week. But for the moment, it's still a possibility that we have a 1-2 pattern underway here. We'll see if we get a reversal higher or a rally again in wave 3 later on today, and next week we'll kind of look for 5 waves up to complete in wave A. We'll look for that either either way, no matter which is the outcome for wave B, whatever, let's say, pattern that the market actually decides on there. So we'll see how that goes. Okay, let's go to dollar yen. You can see here now we have the continual rally in dollar yen that just will not end, or the rally in the dollar that won't end. Well, it's coming to an end. Newsflash, soon enough. We have 5 waves up. In wave 5, we have broken above the larger trend channel here, so this actually counts as a legitimate bona fide throw over to the top here in wave 5. So now we start looking at this narrower channel here, or the more concise lower degree channel here. If we do push towards the upper band of, or the upper channel line, it will suggest, maybe even 154 to complete. Boy, oh boy, if we get there, that'd be quite a feat for the dollar. Gosh, how many countries are going to go bankrupt because of this? I don't know. Look for an Asian currency crisis coming your way pretty soon. Here we got 5 waves up, almost complete. I think, sooner rather than later that we're going to turn down into a correction in wave 4, and it could be quite a violent one. So let's see how that goes. Let's get to the hourly count here. We can see an extension higher in wave 5. I've been trying to kind of track this 5th wave pattern here, and it's just been blowing out one after another. I'm wondering whether I should reverse down or lower the degree here and look at a possible wave 3 complete, wave 4, very close. Well, maybe a very tight wave 4. It really depends. Maybe wave 3 and 4 actually completed here, and we're actually on wave 5 now. When a market goes like this, vertical like this, it's really hard to kind of pinpoint internal waves, because they just they really kind of compound upon each other very quickly. Now, where's that 154 target? If we were to look at that, the way that the acceleration is happening today, maybe we do hit 154. Maybe we do even throw out above this lower degree trend channel. It's kind of up in the air at the moment. I think I'll probably just leave it at that, to be honest. When this turns, it'll be like trying to catch a falling knife. But when, as this is going up, it's be careful, because this is going to stab you in the back. Okay, so next week I'm going to look for a top again in wave 3, as I said in the 4-hour count. It's got to reverse sooner rather than later, and I think it'll be a 3-wave, very fast, probably quite a vicious reversal, probably in wave 4. So let's see how that goes. Okay, here's the stock market. The 4-hour count. Not a whole lot of change, to be quite honest. We're pretty flat for the last few days, to be honest, even though we have whips all around a bit. We could call this a 4th wave correction, or a 2nd wave correction complete. That is what I'm going with on the short-term count. There is a couple of, let's say, one main alternate, and that is for wave 1 and 2 to be tracing out at a larger pattern in wave 1 and 2. And that, again, I can't rule that out, or I can't rule it in until one of these counts actually gets ruled out. Then we'll be able to concentrate on one particular one. But on the short-term pattern, I'm actually sticking to the 1-2 pattern in pink here. I think I can stick with that quite reasonably, even though in terms of the alternate count still fits quite well here. I mean, we could have a wave 1 and 2, wave 3 down into the last Friday's lows, 3 waves up in wave 4, maybe into today. It's hard to know. And then we'd expect, again, a turn down in wave 5. It all depends on how you view the internal pattern yourself. It's kind of personal taste here. We're falling today. We'll have to see. We've yet to see whether this develops impulsively. This could either be wave 1 of wave 3, or it could be wave 5 of wave 1. So we'll see. I don't think there's any, I don't have to nail anything to the post here. I'm not Martin Luther. I don't have to nail my demands to the church door here. Both counts are calling for a further drop. So at this particular point, I'm just going to stick with the main one, and we'll look and see how wave 1 of 3, wave 1 here of wave 3 actually develops. So I don't even think, the early morning trade is open in New York. We'll see how the day goes, and we'll be able to judge by tonight. Okay, let's move on. For our count in gold, kind of been pinned to the collar here this week, to be quite honest. We haven't actually broken to a new low, but the decline became kind of untenable, really, because we're probably a few breaths away from breaking to a new low here. So how do you want to count that? I suppose, again, it's a matter of personal taste. I was quite happy to look for an impulsive reversal here, even though we were expecting a correction. That correction went on far too long to hold with a second wave decline. Right now, I'm viewing this as a possible fourth wave high, even though there may even be an overlap there. But the fact that we're breaking to a new low is, it's hard to deny right now. So it looks like we are either in wave 5 of wave 5, and that's exactly what I'm working with right now. And if that's the case, we should break to a new low to complete 5 waves down. And I'll show you that pattern now. Okay, so here's that fourth wave high, that kind of tenuous on the edge fourth wave high. We'll see how that plays out. We could have wave 1, 2, wave 3. That's a pretty reasonable 5 wave decline. So we've got wave 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 in wave 3. A running flat wave 4, and a possible 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 now underway in wave 5 of 5 of 5 of C of 4, and that's a mouthful if you can chew it. So we're still holding above that 16 kind of 15 level. So right now it's really on the edge. We haven't confirmed this new count, but we've gone far enough to kind of rule out, or not. We've gone far enough to kind of drop down in the pecking order that bullish advance. So it looks like we're just going to have to wait for another low to form and see if we can get another bullish. If we tag that lower trend line and then we rally again, then we may be pointing again to another bullish reversal. We'll see how it goes. It's kind of, in reality, we're kind of in limbo land in the market. We haven't decided. There's been no capitulation yet. We haven't, general public hasn't decided to throw in the towel and to get fearful yet. I'm looking at a housing market here that is just blowing its top off completely, and it's impossible to know how people are pulling the cash for the money they're spending on things here. I get the distinct feeling that it'll end the exact same way it did back in 2008, and that was quite a painful. Ordeal. In this time round, I think it'll be much more painful. So, put on your hats, get your hard hats on right now, because things are about to get real, as they say. Okay, so I don't think until capitulation happens and fear actually grips, then at that point we'll probably see a major run into gold, and we'll see how that goes. Okay, let's move on. Crude oil. I've been toying with the idea of a larger wave 2 advance this week. The decline hasn't. Yeah, we got further declines this week, but it hasn't materialized in the way that I had expected. So previously I was working with a wave 2 high here, and we were working on wave 1 and 2 down to begin wave 3. But at this point in time, we've at least short-term bottomed in momentum, and we've turned higher again. It seems that we may be looking at a small impulse reversal here happening on off that B wave low. And we get into the hourly count here, and I'll show you in a second. But we could have 5 waves down, ending diagonal to complete wave 5, and looking at 3 waves up in wave 2. So previous fourth wave high about 101. Remember a few weeks ago I was actually working with a pretty similar count, but right now 3 waves up in wave 2 is in my best guess, let's say, as to what this pattern is likely to do. Now, here is my my take on what's happening right now. It's a flat correction, so it's 3 up in A, possible 3 down in B. Depends on where you want to punch in that wave A low. I don't really know. I mean, it can fit in both of those internal lows here. It doesn't really matter to the overall count. The large internal correction here does suggest a B wave, and then we've got a decline into wave C. So 3 down in wave B. We've got a higher low, and we've got a small spot, reasonable impulsive pattern off the high. We've got 3 waves down into a small higher low again today, and we have bounced again. So it looks like the trend channel is holding. It looks like we are creating a bullish higher low in wave 2, and we should head higher to complete 5 waves up in wave C of 2, somewhere up around 97 to 101 over the next week or so. And we'll see. The minimum target, I suppose, will be a break of 92 again. If we break 92, we'll probably start slowing in momentum. We'll probably still climb. We'll fill the channel, and we'll see then if we turn in impulsively lower again, which I suspect we will, given the next week I think it's going to be a pretty heavy earnings week. So if we see that kind of downward revision in earnings, downward revision in expectations, downward revision in multiples, downward revision in everything, and reality start to bite a little bit, you never know. We might turn this pattern lower quicker than I expect at this point. We'll see how it goes. Okay, here is the S&P. Last week I was kind of toying with the idea that we might get a larger 3-wave correction higher. Can't throw that idea out. We've got 3 waves up so far, and we seem to have come off the boil a little bit, but it depends really on the next day or so. If we reverse, if we head lower impulsively today, that will suggest that wave 2 may already even be in. If we don't, if we're going to drift sideways, and even if we rally again, that will suggest that a larger wave 2 is on the cards. And I would suggest that maybe the previous internal fourth wave high there around 4,800 would 3,800 would probably attract the price. We'll get into the hourly count here and I'll show you. That previous fourth wave high here, 3,806. So we have 3 waves up. I'm going with the idea that we might have wave 2 already in place, and we'll look for a decline in wave 1 of 3. Excuse me. The alternate idea here would be that we have only wave A done, and we're now drifting lower in wave B, and then we rally again in wave C towards next week sometime. Maybe Monday or Tuesday next week. We shall see on that one. Not a whole lot I can add to that, unless until we see what happens today. So if we do decline, I'm pointing out that internal B wave low here as a possible support, maybe a trigger level for a larger decline in wave 1. So 3580. Watch what happens off that 3580 level. If we find support and then rally again, you might suggest that we are actually drifting towards that alternate count here. Okay, move on. Here's silver, progressing quite well in silver and closer to final goal, but we're not there yet. So if we fill the channel here, we could be looking at $15 in silver by the time this is complete, with a minimum target of a break of 1758 again. So we've got that wave 3 low that needs to go, but we could go much lower than that in wave 5. So the main count, I suppose, is probably targeting that lower $15 area to complete. We might have 5 waves down done in wave 1, we had a pretty clear three-wave pattern into yesterday's high. We were suggesting or looking at a break of wave A to complete wave C and then a reversal, and we got exactly that. We haven't confirmed wave 1 down yet. If we do break to a new low below 1795, that will confirm wave 1 of 3 is underway, and then we look for 5 further, five waves down again to complete wave 3 next week. So if this count is correct, then next week is looking pretty bleak for silver, but we need confirmation on that yet. Okay, let's get into Bitcoin maybe. You can see the range contraction that continues to kind of unfold, I suppose, here. I was looking at the triangle scenario for wave 4. Maybe that triangle isn't even complete yet. The pattern has done basically nothing over the last almost going on 6 months now. We're hanging at the lows. It does suggest a fourth wave triangle, and that does suggest wave 5 will come our way pretty soon. Further declines today. And we are sticking with that, holding that trend channel, let's say, or that trend line of the triangle. We might have the triangle complete, like I said, at last week's highs, and we are drifting lower. So this could be another, 1, 2, beginning of a third wave decline again. So I would watch out for a break to a new low next week. And if we do break to a new low below 18,000, well, that will probably be enough to suggest that wave 5 down is underway, and that will be dangerous, I think, for Bitcoin. Okay, going on the Nasdaq. For our account on the Nasdaq, again, we're showing that three-wave rally into this week's high. Not quite sure if that is that correction is over yet, or if we're going to extend, just like the S&P, if we're going to extend into a larger pattern. Chances are right now that we may well do that. So if that's the case, then I think we'll probably move up this wave count. And we get a larger three-wave correction back to that previous internal fourth wave high. So that'd be about 11,670 or so. And then at that point, we'd look for the all-famous, infamous right now reversal into a third wave, which hasn't happened yet. Even though, we continue to go sideways to nowhere to negative in general. But we still haven't hit that capitulation point. It's interesting that sentiment is quite negative across the board, but flows into stock funds is still quite, it's positive. So people haven't put their money where their mouth is, to be honest. So again, that capitulation point has not been hit. I think they are expecting someone, in general, people are expecting someone to rescue them. And this time around, I don't think that's coming. Okay, so that actually does it for the week. Like I said, if you are interested in a nightly Elliott wave analysis, check out bullwaves.org and sign up, and we'll get you going. Other than that, I always end the presentation with the good news of salvation. See how I made that rhyme. The good news is, if you haven't heard it, that the Messiah of Israel came 2,000 years ago, died for our sin, took it all to the cross, paid for it. All you have to do is accept that free gift, offered it as a free gift to you if you believe. I'm not trying to sell this. It's a relationship with your Creator God. If you would like to restore the relationship that Adam and Eve destroyed, well then, here is your chance to look to the cross, look to Jesus, thank him for dying for your sins, and accept the Messiah into your life. I can only say it's been good in my life, and it's a choice that each of us will have to make or not make. If you don't, well then you won't have communion with your creator God after the time you die. So it is our choice. It's up to us. There's utter and complete free will. So the good news of salvation. Someone already died for your sins, paid for it. You just have to accept it. I'll leave you with that. And until next week, if I'm alive, I'll come back on here and I'll see you then. If you're a website member, I'll see you tonight and we will chew the cud a little bit more. Remember, check out bowwebs.org and we will see you there. Bye-bye.